Hi everyone! For this video, I'm going to show you how to make an interactive lesson using Nearpod. So first, before I dive in, one of the things that I really like about Nearpod is on their blog, they have a page where they have pre-made Google Slide templates for their lessons. And I just kind of like the way they look. They make your slideshow look very professional and just kind of make it look nice. So they have all these templates that you can download and use for your presentation. You can also just make it on Google Slides just like you normally would, but I do kind of like the way that some of these look. So I will put the link to these templates next to my video so that if anyone's interested, they can find these. So I'm going to go ahead and download this blue and gray one because I like the way that looks. I'm going to make a copy of it. And then here we are. Okay, so I don't need this first one because that's just directions, but I'm going to keep the rest of them. So what I want to make sure that I have is I want to make sure that I have the Nearpod add-on. So if I click up here to add-ons, I have it already, but if you don't, what you're going to do first is get add-ons, and then you are going to search for Nearpod. So open the search box, Nearpod, and then you are going to install it from here. Mine's already installed, so you can see that every time I hit add-ons, Nearpod just kind of sits right there, and I can open it, and the tools will show up on the right-hand side. So what's great about Nearpod is it has a ton of tools for you to use. I'm not going to go through all of them in this video. I'm going to kind of pick the ones that I think are the most basic and the ones that are the easiest to jump into. But I do suggest if you have extra time just to kind of explore. A lot of them are really cool just to make things more interactive and to really engage your students. So the ones that I'm going to kind of focus on today are the Collaborate board, the Draw It, the open-ended questions, the simulation, and the video. So I'm going to focus on those, but again, there are a bunch of other options if you are ever looking to kind of spend some time exploring those. So what I did is I have a lesson that I already made to go with Pear Deck on a third grade science lesson about forces. I'm going to recreate the same lesson on Nearpod just to kind of show a different way to do it and just to kind of show the differences between the tools. So this is our tugboat war lesson. So I'm going to X out of here. So I'll add my title, Tugboat Wars. And this is grade 3, lesson 1. Okay, so looking at my lesson, the first thing that the kids are going to do is they're going to watch a video and then they're going to kind of talk about what they noticed in it. So I brought the video up already. I'm going to copy the link for it. If I go back to my slideshow, you can see all the way down here, one of the last tools in Nearpod is video. So I'm going to click on that. Since this video is on YouTube, I'm going to click your YouTube, but there are a bunch of Nearpod ones on there already that you can search through. So I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to paste the link in there and my video is going to come up. So I'm going to click on it and save. One of the cool features, I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but you can add activities to kind of stop the video and have the kids answer questions as they go, which is really awesome, especially if they're doing some asynchronous learning. So that is something to check out. I'm going to save my video. And now you can see, sometimes it takes a little bit of time for it to pop up. There it is. So you can see that my video is going to show up here. So I've got my title, I've got my video. The next one is kind of a discussion with the kids about what do you notice about the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a board for this one. So I'm going to click on Collaborate board. I'm going to enter my topic. What is one thing you noticed about forces from the video? And you can kind of change the way that it looks. I like this corkboard one, so I'm going to save that. Okay, so now that's going to pop up here. And again, it's going to look different on the kids' end than it looks on mine, but this is just how you're going to make it, and then I will show you the kids' view at the end. Okay, so then looking over here, there's kind of like an introduction. Let's talk about forces. A force is a push or pull. So I might use this one. What is a force? A force is a push or a pull. Just kind of put some vocabulary in there. There's another video. I'm just going to kind of skip this for now. This is kind of the hands-on part of the lesson. So the kids learn about what a tugboat war is. So if there is a barge in the water and there's a tugboat on each side, looking at the forces that the tugboats have, most of the time one side is going to win because it's going to show more force. So kind of copying those directions. I'll put it here, tugboat wars, and I'm going to put background information there. So what the kids do in class, if we were face-to-face in school, is they get this kind of handout that has the barge and the graph, and they get to cut out arrows and paste them on both sides that have different size forces. So they might put a bigger arrow on the right side and a smaller one to the left, and then they would know my barge is going to move right because that force is larger. So one of the really cool things that we can do here is I'm going to use this draw it. And I'm going to have the kids draw the arrows on there. So what I needed to do is I needed to get kind of a screenshot of that graph paper with the barge on it to use as my background. So I did that already. I have a screenshot sitting right here. So I'm going to upload that. Is it going to go? Okay, I'll do it this way. Let's see. Okay, maybe we got to do it the old-fashioned way. So we will hit upload. I will pick my screenshot. And there it goes. Perfect. So I want to add instructions. Draw two forces on the barge. Draw the forces so that the barge would move to the right. I'm going to save that. Okay, great. Now I might want to do kind of the same thing. I'm going to do another draw it. I'm going to use that same background. My instructions for this one, if they disappear, you can hit this arrow to kind of pop them back down. Draw two forces on the barge. Draw the forces so the barge will not move. So the kids are also learning about how if the forces on both sides are equal, they're going to kind of cancel each other out and the barge shouldn't move. So I'm going to save that one. Okay. Now I've got my draw it. One of the other ones that I thought was really cool, and I remembered this because we used this simulation last year, is they have this simulation website. So I'm going to click on this. And I remembered from last year we had this tug of war activity that the kids used. It did take me a little bit of time to find it. It is under middle school science, although we did use it in our class last year. So I think kind of browsing through all of them isn't a bad idea. So we are looking at forces and motion. I'm going to click this one and done. And what this simulation does is the kids can put people on both sides of the tug of war and then press go and see which side would have the greater force and who would win. So again, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get up there, but okay. And then for this last one, just to kind of close out my lesson, I'm going to choose an open-ended question. I'm going to write, what is one thing you learned about forces today? And what is really cool is that I can check this box here and it will give my students the choice of either typing their response or giving an audio recording of their response. So a really great accommodation if you have that for your students. So I'm going to press save. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to stop this video now. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to send out the Nearpod to your kids, what it will look like on their end, and then also how to look at their responses afterwards to kind of keep track on what your students are learning.